Top of the morning, man. Top of the morning in the evening. Top of the morning in the evening. Welcome to an evening edition of See You in the Morning. It's going to be kind of quick, not going to take all day, not going to hold you long, not going to be before you long. Not going to be before you long. I'm just going to come in and relive my civic duty. Welcome to See You in the Evening, evening edition of the not wildly popular See You in the Morning, but it's something that I do on a daily basis. I get up every morning and I at 7:30 ish, and I express way too much is going on in my personal life. And so what I'm doing today though is we're doing an evening edition just for those of y'all who tuned in, man. So thanks for y'all who tuned in, who were able to come in. I don't know what words I stole from you. The password. I'm not gonna be before you long. I'm not gonna be before y'all long. We're gonna talk real quick and we're gonna get out of here, man. Today's edition is all about the fair city in which I live, the fair city of Portsmouth. Forgive my darkness, man. I had to order a new ring light. My ring light is off. So it ain't got nothing to do with my Dominion power. It's just my ring light. I just can't get that. My ring light ain't ringing. So today's episode is about the illustrious city of Portsmouth, the city in which I live. My ring light, because I said my ring light is out. Of course, it came right on when I pushed the button. And the reason for today's show is I've been called back into civic duty, not into duty as far as like what's that thing that everybody goes to down at the court, jury duty. But my civic duty, if you've been following me or what I do for a while now, you would know that I often get brought in to the political scene. People bring me in the political scene. I've done certain things. Last October, I had the city manager on. Maybe a month or so ago, I had one of the candidates that's running for mayor on, and I've opened up my platform to help people be more involved and know more things. So that's one of the things that I've really been very, very interested in doing, is trying to help people know what's going on locally. I think our national elections, they get all kinds of coverage. Everybody knows what's going on with the orange monster and the elderly. But we don't always know what's going on in our local governments, and our local governments at times are the ones. I still firmly believe your local government is the one that affects your life the most. Your local government is what's really going to be affecting your life. If you own a home, that's who's setting the taxes on your home. If you have schools, that's who's doing your schooling, who's doing all that kind of stuff. And so huge believer of what goes on in local government. Now, the biggest part about the local government situation is that we don't always follow it. But I ended up going on a series of talks the last few years about what's happening in my local city. And now I'm back again because we've gone back to being foolish. The city went through a period in the last few years where foolishness was what reigned. The city council meetings were more like WWE events than they were any type of city government. You found yourself watching, and we became the butt of a lot of jokes. We became a laughing stock in not only the local area, but I believe nationwide, because some of the things that happen in our city council's meetings happened nationwide. So people saw it all over the nation. And for a city of 90-some thousand people, not a very large city, we shouldn't be making those kind of national waves because of what happens in our city government. But unfortunately, that's what's happened. So we have a lot of city government, a lot of people own city government. And one of the biggest things that I've learned in our city is that those we have elected to represent us have forgotten that they are elected to represent us. The biggest problem that we have in our city government right now is that our city council has forgotten that they represent the people. Not just the elite people, not just those with a lot of money, not just homeowners. They are there, not just the business owners. They are there to represent the entire city. And so that should be done with a level of decorum and class that is representative of a city who has their council meetings done over the air. They're not private. They're not only seen by citizens of the city. Anybody anywhere, Willacoochee, Georgia, right now can pick up a computer and tune in and see what's happening in little old Portsmouth. In fact, because of some of the things that we have done nationally to gain attention, to garner attention, I think more people are watching it now to see what we got going on, what's happening down there in that city. And so yesterday, I wanted to actually go and attend the city council meeting, but I didn't go. I watched it via YouTube. And what I saw yesterday was top 5 most embarrassing city council meetings I've ever seen in my life. What I saw yesterday in the city council meeting made me feel as though I want to be a resident of another city. I don't know if I can live here and identify as a resident of another city. I don't know what city that is right now. Maybe I'll go back to the city I'm originally from, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and just be like, that's how I identify. I identify as a Coloridian. Because what I saw in that meeting on yesterday was simply a clown show. It was a circus. It was a group of adults who were unable to behave as adults. It was a group of adults who decided that what we want to do is be childish, vindictive, and have negative behaviors on display for the entire world. Now, one of the big major issues that's going on in this city right now is that we have elected our 6,000th city manager in the past 2 to 3 years. It seems like it is when the leaves fall off the trees, we hire a new city manager. At this point, we've already spent, or we are in line to spend over $100,000 of taxpayers' money in finding a city manager, another $310,000 in paying a new city manager, and I don't know how much in severance to previous city managers. I'm pretty sure another $200,000. We are at about $500,000 in city managerdom. $500,000 in city managerdom in a city of 97,000 people. Not enough people for us to be that low in the hole. And it has been because of the gross mismanagement of members of the council. And at this point, I don't even care to signal anybody out. What I do know is that it has been the entire council, because now we're at a point where we win as a team and we lose as a team, because their losses are hurting the city. Individuals who feel as though they are above and beyond are costing every citizen in this city. If you don't believe it, you just go back and look. But what I saw, the behavior of council members, I can't even blame the raucous behavior of people in the audience. And let me explain to you exactly what happened. We had a city manager change, and I didn't agree with the city manager change, but I am willing to accept that we have a new city manager. That's what the council chose. We're going to have a new city manager. That's just a part of life. What I did not agree with was with them spending $30,000 for a month of work from one individual, from an individual who was a temp to come in and get $30,000. And not only that, this temp has come in and has hired and fired individuals. There is no reason for you to let somebody who's not even here permanently, who is not going to be doing the job at all, come in here and hire and fire individuals as if they are the end all be all of this. First of all, it ain't your job. It ain't your responsibility. We have somebody coming in. This is what I'm asking. Are you saying that this person is so incompetent that we've hired that they can't even come in and evaluate their staff and decide whether or not they should or should not be in their position? Because what you've done is you've let somebody come in and do that for them. We just want to make sure they got a clean slate. Are you saying that we are now invested in somebody who is not competent enough to come in and look over the staff that they have working and say whether or not those people should continue to work or they should be fired? Is this somebody that I want on my team or I don't want on my team? So what you're saying is you're going to bring him in and make him work with who somebody else chose for him to work with. What kind of common sense does that make? That's not even common sense. There is no other place on earth where you're going to get that done. There is no other job where you're going to get that done. If she was coming in as a placeholder, she needs to sit there, shut up, and take pictures. I said it and I meant it. There's absolutely no reason for her to come in and be able to hire and fire anybody that's working. You tell me where that would be done in any other corporate America, anywhere else. You're going to have somebody who comes in and they are here to work for a month. Now, here's where I don't, what I think you're not going to pee down my neck and tell me it's raining. I don't believe that they wanted the lady to come in for just a month. I believe that they have more than a month in, because I know this because they have a citizen who has been a soundboard for people who are on that council and people who not on that council. They feed information to who came in and they made a suggestion. I think the person should stay longer than a month. I bet you do, because that's what the people who that are invested in you and talk to you in that way have told you. So you probably already know what the plan is. That's one of the things I love about this city. If you listen close enough, they tell you what their plan is. They'll even tell you what their dirt is. So I do not doubt for a millisecond that there are individuals on the council who want to keep this lady and this $30,000 a month price tag on. She's come in hiring and firing. It makes no sense. How incompetent, what lack of competence do you expect this person that we have called from Albany, Georgia, to come in and not know? I don't know the man. I have nothing against him. But your behavior is already showing that you have zero faith in somebody that you hired and are going to give $310,000 in both salary and compensation. So that's not just his salary. That's going to be his benefits. That's going to be his travel. That's going to be his relocation. There's also a year severance in there. So if he gets fired, he gets a year severance after that. Going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. Now, let's get to this, the council meeting, because a lot of people love for me to just recap what happened in the council meeting. The council meeting started with the work session. The council meeting started with the work session in which the skeleton for the budget was presented. And they also started the council meeting off with the same thing. They started the council meeting off with the same thing. This is what I don't like. Stop preying on the citizens of this city. Stop making them seem like they not bright. Why in the world would you have this lady up here and make her seem like she was the person that prepared the budget? She been working there for 4 days. She been there for 4 days. She didn't prepare this budget. She didn't put this budget in place. But then we hear all this stuff on the thing talking about how great the budget is, how the strides from 2024 led us to a new level, how we've reached new levels, how things are better than they've ever been before. They show the paramedics with equipment that they've never had, the police with things that they've never had before, infrastructure, the parks and recreations with all kinds of new stuff, all kinds of amazing things have been set in motion and put in place. And now these things are continuing to go, and you decide that we need to go in another direction. So what direction do you want us to go in? I need somebody from the council to explain to me what the direction is that we need to reach. If we're now getting new equipment, we're doing new things, the infrastructure is being done. We talked about the water tower, which has been the water towers in the city, which have been decaying for years, have now been corrected. The Churchland Bridge, which has been decaying for years, has now been corrected. And it's amazing that we did get that done, because as you can see, the structure of a lot of these old bridges is not that great, as we saw with the tragedy that happened in Baltimore. All of these things happen, but now we need to go in a new direction. So what's the direction that you want us to go in, city? And then you're gonna put that lady all in the video like she was Puffy, without the sexual scandal that I know of. But she's 71 years old. If you get yourself into a sexual scandal with a 71-year-old, you pretty much deserve whatever you get. But what I am saying is this. Why are you putting her in there like she came up with it? She couldn't answer not one question about the budget because she ain't had nothing to do with it. She don't know nothing about it. And then even though, this is what's so crazy, because they got public backlash from firing the previous interim city manager, you couldn't even be mature enough as a council to give her props for the work that she did on it. It's not right. It's not right. You constantly, here's what's so crazy, and I'm gonna say this, and I know I'm gonna have people of all races, creeds, and colors that are watching this, but it was it was Women's History Month. It was a black woman in a black town, and even though you let her go, and whatever happened with her letting go, you didn't even have the common decency to treat her like a human being. You gave the credit for that budget to a whole nother white man that didn't do it. Let's be 100% honest. Now, I'm not going to take credit that man didn't work on it, because of course he did. Of course he did. He was part of her staff. But you intentionally decided to not even mention the work that she had done on it because you have egg on your face. Because when you do dirt, you can't talk clean. You can't be clean when you dirty. It's one or the other. So because our council chose a new city manager and we put an interim city manager in, you can't even give credit to the woman who put in the work to get that budget together. Questions were asked of the man that he couldn't answer because he didn't do the work. We had another councilman ask about where were the cuts that we had voted on already and that we knew that we were supposed to be putting in. They were suddenly been taken away. Where's the money? This is the thing. They are hurting the pockets of the citizens behind their own personal gripes. Behind their own personal gripes. Things that they had already voted to do, they decided in this budget that it won't there no more. The board had already voted. The council had already voted for it. She couldn't answer because she won't hear. And she been working for 4 days. She don't know. They put the poor man up. They put the poor man up to speed. He was just, he was praying to God ain't nobody ask no questions. I've been there before. I've been in a situation where I ain't had no business being up there. I just hope don't nobody ask me no questions. I'm just going to stand here. We then, after we got through this farce of a budget presentation, because it was a farce. The budget presentation was a complete farce. It was foolishness and something else that starts with F and ends in Curry. But for some reason, we have people on the council. We have a council. I'm just going to keep saying a council. Everybody's included. We have a council that feels that the citizens are not bright enough to see through it. That's what they believe. They ain't smart enough to see through it. Not only do they believe that they're not smart enough to see through it, even if they are smart enough to see through it, the thing that they are banking on is that Portsmouth is a very forgiving and forgetting city. They forget all about it. You do it today, they'll forget about it by tomorrow. Next week, they won't even care. And you can count on it. They'll be riled up about it for a couple of days, and overall, overwhelmingly, the city forgets. After that, the meeting went kind of okay until politics reached in there. We're in a political season. People have drawn allegiances and alliances, and they have decided on who they want to or don't want to be in certain positions. And it is no secret that we have one council member running against the current mayor for the position of mayor. And now there are other council members who have decided that they want to publicly come out and run for office during city council meetings. We had one council person come in there with a t-shirt on, with a Vote For Me t-shirt on. How childish. How inappropriate. Where's the standard that we're setting? There isn't one. The standard that you're setting with that is we finna do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. There are no more rules of decorum. There is no professionalism that's going to be set. But what I saw on yesterday was one of the most egregious and disrespectful things that I've ever seen ever. The mayor of the city gave the floor to another councilman, and that person decided that they were going to go on a diatribe I've never heard the likes of. It was completely and utterly disrespectful to the mayor, the position, and it shouldn't have been done. Now you're gonna have people who are outside stakeholders that have decided that I don't like this. I'm okay with them, friends with them, I'm cool with them. But one of the things about me is I'm about this city first, and when you're wrong, you're wrong. And that was completely and utterly wrong. It was not the place, the venue, nor the time for you to decide to go on a public rant about how much you dislike the mayor, how wrong the mayor is, how divisive the mayor is, and frankly, I don't even think it was something that was written by him. I think it was written by another member of council. But I just believe that if it's coming from the member of council that it came from, they believe it would be more palatable. Because the member of council that I believe wrote that letter, nobody liked. So anything that comes out of that person's mouth, everybody's already going to turn their ear to. But because the council member who actually made that statement is more palatable, more liked, he was used as a sacrificial lamb. He didn't have anything to lose. He's not running this year. He's not going to lose his seat. He's in good shape. So he can anger anybody he wants to. He's still good. And we already have established that Portsmouth is forgiving and forgetting. So it was an egregiously horrible attack on the mayor. I give the mayor all the credit in the world. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something about me. You wouldn't have talked about me like that. Not the way that they talked about him. And one of the most egregious parts of it, and if you go back and watch it, one of the most egregious parts of the writing was when they said that Portsmouth is stuck in the mire of bringing back friends and family or different people that we've already had relationships in rather than getting good people in. When we sitting up there with a lady sitting in the city manager seat that was getting ready to get fired that y'all brought back because y'all was cool with her. Do y'all not remember? How are you going to sit here? That's like me getting there talking about we're mad at people for being fat while eating a Big Mac. I can't do it. Your own hypocrisy came out in the letter. Your own hypocrisy came out in the letter. Portsmouth is stuck in a good old boy network where people are giving their friends jobs. Meanwhile, your friend is sitting at the end of the dais as interim city manager for $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month. It is a ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement. I'm already getting calls and all that kind of stuff. I knew that I would, and I'm okay with it. I'm back on the list of people that don't like me list. Nobody likes me anymore. But how are you gonna go and pontificate that we don't need to bring in these same people, that we don't need to bring in these same people. We don't need to keep rehashing people just because they friends. And meanwhile, you had the city manager you brought in was a friend. And what did she do? She fired people who were in current positions, brought back people who used to be in those positions who were fired for whatever reason they were fired for, because those are people that she was familiar with and friends with. Got people running around talking about, I'm about to be back on my job in a couple of weeks because she's back in. You can't go and admonish somebody for doing what you are doing. Epstein can't be mad at Diddy. Bill Cosby can't cuss out R. Kelly. Meanwhile, while you pontificate and read this letter out loud, to the people. You got another council member sitting there and like he's a homegirl in the beauty salon, looking left and right, swinging around in his chair. No decorum whatsoever. None. No professionalism. I guess because he got a new suit, he was like, I'm about to show out. I'm talking about swinging around, looking, making faces. I was like, what is this? I'm watching it. I'm like, is this a council meeting? Couldn't believe it. At the end of which, at the end of the letter, which was prefaced as some type of grandiose statement of valor, they asked for a forensic audit. They asked, we need a forensic audit of the city to make sure this man comes in on a clean slate. Let's again look at how they try to fool the people, because it's an election year. There's an election in November. They made a motion to get the city manager to go find a firm that'll give us a price on how much it'll be to do a forensic audit. Then come back and let us know how much it is, because we need to audit it, because we need to get this man going on the right track. Now, there was another member who said we don't need to do a forensic audit. We need to do a turnover audit. Matter of fact, just get the books right for when he comes in. Here's what's key about a forensic audit. Please do not be confused and believe that a forensic audit will be the man starts work April 22nd. Please do not be deceived. There is absolutely no way in God's green earth that a forensic audit will be done by April 22nd in order to give this man a clean slate to come in and run off of. There is no way. If you're not paying millions of dollars to have some firm working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's no way. There is absolutely no way. A forensic audit, and go back and look at a forensic audit. Somebody actually tried to explain what a forensic audit is. A forensic audit is usually when there is some sort of malfeasance or some kind of crime that's going on. Thus the term forensic. But it is a very, very, very in-depth audit. Most forensic audits will take you probably about a year. Now, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a CPA, but I do balance my own checkbook. So you now ask for a forensic audit, which is going to take over a year, again, of taxpayer money, not your own money, taxpayer money, so that you can get this man a quote unquote clean slate. It's never been done for any other city manager. Never. It's never been done. Not in the history. A turnover audit, maybe. But a forensic audit, never. Never in the history of the city. Never in the history of the city. But you're trying. This is the stuff that we pulling out our hat. There should be a turnover audit. That is completely expected. But let's look at the fact that would we even need to have a forensic audit if we had an auditor? We don't have an auditor. Because council tried to hire an auditor that was unhireable. Can't make it up. Cannot make it up. You try to hire somebody that couldn't be hired. Y'all told us you had, listen, this is somebody we got full faith in. Let's look at the number of people that you have had full faith in that have been hired that couldn't even be hired. The auditor, they tried to hire a city attorney that was already representing a member of the council. Clear conflict of interest. They hired a city manager that they couldn't keep before. I think she may have been the deputy city manager that they couldn't keep in a position more than 2 weeks. Ended up having to pay $75,000 for that. That's 3 bad hires. 2 of them that you've already fired. That's 5 bad hires. How many bad hires can you make? We are allowing this council to just continuously make hires that they can't keep up. And not only do they make these bad hires, in most of those cases, when they make those bad hires, we have to give those people severances. They don't release the money that they release in the severances, but most of those severances, I guarantee you, are above 50 to are between $50 and $100,000, if not more. How you doing, Rosetta? Rosetta says some of us are turning in late, kind of catch us up. We're talking about some of the discrepancies and some of the horrible behavior that I saw at the city council meeting on yesterday. The lack of decorum, the lack of professionalism. So much. So much. So now we're sitting in a position again where our city is at odds. And because I don't believe the council believed, I don't believe that the council believed that the interim city manager that they let go of was going to get any kind of love from the city, that there wasn't going to be people upset about it. There was going to be another one of those things that kind of flew under the radar. Then this meeting, they tried to cover up for all of that. They tried to come back in and, just a grandiose statement about I wasn't able to get meetings. I wasn't able to talk to people. I don't know what the council feels as though if the city manager, and this is any city manager, not just the interim one, but if the city manager is working for the city, that they should just drop everything that they doing to come meet with you because you becked and called. I understand that you are supposed to be the boss, that the city manager reports to you, but you ain't they boss. Don't none of y'all down there know what it takes to do 95% of the stuff that the city manager has to do. I put that on everything, like it's Tony Cheshire. So after that debacle, I thought that debacle was bad enough. And again, I said I'm not individualizing as far as name calling or whatever, who was right or who was wrong. I'm including the council as a team. The team took a L again last night publicly because that attack was redunculous. And then the 15 minutes that it took for them to figure out how to do a motion after that was even worse. And I've never seen such foolishness. So then that followed. We followed that up. And I get a mayor credit because the mayor didn't come back, because I would have came back at him. I'd have came out guns blazing. But the mayor decided he wasn't going to come back guns blazing. Hey, listen, I give him credit for that. Big shout outs to him. After that debacle, we ended up in our public speaking session. This is when non-agenda speakers come in. This is when people from the city come in and they're able to speak. The first speaker comes up, and again, the actions of our city council. Now the cool thing to do is to get thrown out of city council meetings. That seems to be the cool thing to do. We love talking about people getting thrown. I got thrown out of the city council meeting. That seems to be the thing to do. People actually go to be contrarians and try to get thrown out. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen somebody go in there and while on live say, "Watch me get thrown out of the meeting." That seems to be something to do. That seems to be the thing to do. So apparently in the last meeting, the mayor threw out a citizen, asked him to leave. Just a complete and utter, again, disrespect for what is going on in the room. With Robert's rules, free speech does not give you the ability to say whatever you want to whenever you want to say it. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. There are rules of decorum that go with a council chambers. When there's a meeting, there are rules of decorum. The widely accepted rules of decorum that are used are called Robert's rules. Robert's rules state certain things. Whoever the head of the organization is, the president, and in this case, the mayor, it is his meeting to run, and he runs it. If we were to use all of Robert's rules of decorum, if you can go and look them up, he does not have to let anybody speak. He does not have to give anybody the floor. If he gives you the floor, you have it. He does not have to let anybody speak. It is at his discretion on who to give the floor to. If he does give it to a citizen, if he deems you to be out of order, I mean, that's just part of what it is. Whether or not he likes it or he doesn't like it, or you like it or you don't like it. We had somebody talking about he only throw out people who say stuff that he don't like. Well, no, that's generally how it goes. If you want to run the meeting, you become mayor. Then you can throw out who you don't like. But they started the meeting off, and that's when the circus started, and the non-agenda speakers. It started off by somebody claiming that they were suing the mayor for $50,000 for throwing them out of a meeting. I'm going to a meeting next week. I need money too. Why not? Throw me out so I can get my 50 grand. And then the grandstanding continued during that by people endorsing who they wanted in. This is the endorsement that I'm making. This is not the time. It's not the time or the place. But I don't blame citizens. I don't blame citizens for saying what they want to say. They're gonna get up there. The citizens are not expected to have the same level of decorum that our council members have. Which leads us to what I thought was probably the most distasteful thing that was said. Another citizen came up and they expressed how they felt about the behaviors of some members of council. One of the things about it, you sit on that dais, you're going to have to be thick-skinned. Again, I don't have the ability to do it. I already know I don't. Because once you come at me the wrong way, I'm probably going to come back and I may or may not talk about your mama. But in the most respectful way I possibly can. But after this individual came out and talked and said what he had to say about some councilmen and went to his seat, one of the current sitting councilmen got on there and made it his effort to berate this citizen, and even told him and even commented about his tight ass. I'm gonna go ahead and quote him. Y'all go ahead and hold it in. Y'all gonna take away my clean card. It's all right. We'll pretend I'm talking about a donkey. He said, "You in that tight ass shirt." Now, while the shirt did show both his nipples and his belly button, there is no way that from the dais that any member of council should be able to say that about a citizen. It is absolutely inappropriate. It's absolutely wrong. And it is not to be lauded. Now, I will say this. We have opened up Pandora's box because there was another member of council that cussed on the dais. And even I was like, you know what? I think she was right in that cussing. But what that did, because she wasn't censured, there were no repercussions. Because there were no repercussions for it. Now everybody feels like they can cuss on council. Now everybody feel like they can just cuss at people on council. And you're going to go tell a citizen to take off that tight ass shirt. And then laugh. Was the citizen right? Now the citizen is upset. Did the citizen threaten him? I don't think so. I think the citizen said, "I'll see you in the streets," which is something that I believe some of these council members forget. Like, y'all are actual human beings. Y'all actually live here, or you should. You're actually going to be seen in the streets. Now, I know a lot of them, they see me and they go the other way. Some don't speak. I've broken bread with some. Others I haven't. You keep forgetting that y'all live in these streets. Y'all are constantly talking about the level of crime in these streets. But then y'all gonna go out here and disrespect the people. How you think that people ain't? The citizen told him, "I'll catch you out Dale's Homes." And he did say, "I don't live out there." Now see, and now if you from Dale's Homes, you should feel some sort of way. Because that same council person, anytime something happens, that's the first thing he talks about. Me and Dale's Holmes. He got like Dale's Holmes is a person he knows. Me, Dale's Holmes this, Dale's Holmes that. I Dale's Holmes. Whenever I'm out Dale's Holmes, Dale's Holmes. That man said I catch y'all Dale's. I don't live out Dale. He said it in a way as though with a bravado that made it seem like he was too good to live out there. Like you can't catch him out there. Not out Dale's Holmes. But you ran on a platform of how you cared about Dale's Holmes. How you Dale's Holmes to the heart. How you did this, Dale's Holmes, Dale's Holmes. But when the comment was made about that, oh, no, sir, I don't live out there. Telling you can't lie but so long. All I'm asking for is that we get a city council. This is what I'm asking for as a citizen. Is that we get a city council that knows how to act. I don't expect the city council to be correct all the time. I'm not going to expect the city council to do things that I agree with all the time. I just don't believe that's going to happen. But what I do want is just a city council that'll make me proud, even in they wrong. Give me a city council that is right enough that I can go and back them up even when they wrong. I don't have that in the city council. I don't have a council that has decorum. I don't have a council that knows how to get along in enough of a way. You don't have to agree with each other. I don't even have a city council that respects each other. They kept talking about divisiveness. Divisiveness does not mean that everybody on this council is going to agree with each other. Just because I don't vote with you doesn't mean we're divided. There's not an act of divisiveness. But what it means is that if I don't agree with you on this particular issue, I at least agree with you that we're doing this for the best of the city. And at this point right now, I have no confidence in anybody up there because the council as a whole is dysfunctional. I've been thinking over I'm getting ready to go, man. I've done enough time for today. I've been thinking in my head, I really want to kind of Richard Pryor and Brewster's Millions. If you ever seen Brewster's Millions, Richard Pryor ran for office under the slogan of vote none of the above. I've been wanting to run for office just so I can get invited to everything and hold them accountable at these meetings. I really would love to run for office just so I don't even want to win. I need to exercise. I kind of want to run for office just so I can show up to all of the debates. Just so I can get invited to the debates. Just so I can make them put on record what they know, what they're going to do. I really want to pull out the real in them because they've been able to get over with catchphrases and lines of let's fully support education. That's what they've been able to do. I just want to be able to show up and be able to be in debates. Because I guarantee you, 90% of them, I would make them look dumber than their actions do. I guarantee if they let me run, I don't want your vote. I will get there at every debate and say, I don't want your vote. Don't vote for me. Vote for somebody else. But I'm at these debates the just go ahead. Told us that I got a few months to get signatures. I don't even think I need a few months to get signatures. I think I can get if I decided to run, I don't think I need but like a week and a half to get my signatures. I think somebody's gonna come out. It's already like 8 to 10 people that's planning on running. And June ain't even till, and June is when the deadline is. So we still got 3 months for people to decide. And with the ridiculousness that they see on this council right now, it's gonna be more and more people who look at it and be like, hey man, I can do this. Let it be known. Let it be known. Let it be known. Let it be known There is legislation, and the council is talking about giving themselves a raise and health insurance. Let it be known. Let it be known. The council's about to be about a $40,000 a year job with insurance. Let it be known. Tony, I might have to call you because I just want to go to the debates. I want to be at the debates so I can tell them, don't vote for me. But whoever you vote for, don't let it be them. That might be my campaign slogan. Don't vote for me, just don't vote for them. Don't vote for me, just don't vote for them. But I guarantee you that entering me in there, I'm not going to go off of just simple stuff that's already been said. I'm not going to go off all the stuff because I believe a whole lot of different stuff. I believe our city no longer needs elitists or people who are trying to pad their pockets with the power and money that come with the position, because I already know that some people have wielded their position on council to get more money. I already understand that. I think time is out for that in this city. I think our city now is deserving. I think the people are deserving of people who really are in that council seat, who care about the city and progressing the city forward. Portsmouth, that should be our slogan. Portsmouth City Council. So simple, even a caveman can do it. Because that's about where we are. What's up, St. Angeles? I'm talking about my city, Shoe City. So we out. I'll be back again tomorrow. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Of course, tomorrow morning and every morning, 7:30-ish in the morning. I have See You in the Morning, which is an unrelenting, ridiculous look at my own personal life, where I just talk about whatever's going on in my personal life and whatever I'm doing. It's just me just talking. Personal life, it can go any direction. Today we had amazing discussions on such hard-hitting topics as, is there a difference? No, not is there a difference. Should a housewife, a woman who simply gets all of her, who relies simply on her husband for all of her money and support and financial well-being, should she be able to look down on a woman who is a sex worker? It was an amazing discussion. The way that both sides came into it, it was great. We have all kinds of discussions in there. The show is amazing. It's great. It's full of fun facts and food. We have news, weather, and sports every day. It's just a real family environment. It's a great way to get your day started. If you don't start your day with it, at least watch it throughout the day. So that's See You in the Morning every morning, Monday through Friday at 7:30-ish. 7:30-ish. And if you don't catch it at 7:30, you can always rewatch it. But tomorrow, I'm doing my civic duty. I got the phone call, and I said to myself, I'll always open up my platform to people to come out and talk. And so the previous interim city manager, Mimi Terry, has already. Oh, and we do have a word of the day, Z. I forgot about it. But the previous interim city manager, Mimi Terry, has not been able to get her story out. When they named the new interim city manager and the new city manager, they immediately terminated her employment. And she never got to be able to be like, bye. She didn't get to have no party. They didn't get to decorate her desk and say goodbye. So she was like, listen, I've heard a lot that's been said about me. Can I please come on your platform and tell my story? So tomorrow at 7 p.m., Mimi gets to tell her story. It'll be me and Mimi. Just me and Mimi. It'll be it. So let everybody know that they can tune in tomorrow, and Mimi Terry gets to tell her side of the story. And she won't be an employee of the city anymore. She'll just be a citizen. So she'll be up and just talking about what her experience is, how she feels, and different things like that. I'm going Club Shay Shay without the tight pants. I'm going Club Shay Shay, no tight pants. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. As always, man, you can always find me online. If y'all have any questions for Mimi Terry that y'all would like to ask her, y'all can send those to Cletus Comedy, CLETUS comedy @gmail.com. If you have any questions that you want to ask her. If you on the other side, if you one of the council members and you feel like I want to express myself, you can always hit me up. Same thing, Cletus comedy @gmail.com. I know a few of you will never do it, but there's some other ones that may want to do it. And anybody else, man, with political desires, man. I'm here for this city and for local government. I want this November to be a November where we remember and that people make informed decisions. So we're going to work on that the best that we can. All right. We out, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. Y'all go and watch the last 10 minutes of Jeopardy. There's still some Jeopardy left. I didn't expect my phone to be going off like this, but it is. All right. So we out. Peace.